consists of 10 people, which is Muhammad HAZIQ bin Muhammad, LAIYINAH ZAKIRAH binti MOHDZULKIFLI, Muhammad MUSTAQIM AKMAL bin Cik Mamat, Wan NURUL RIDZA IRDINA binti RIDZUAN, Muhammad HAFIZ HILMI bin Muhammad Zaini, Nur HAFIZA binti Muhammad RADZI, Siti Nur ISMAHANI binti ABDUL HAZIZ, UMMI HANI binti ZAMRI, Nur QISTINA MAISARA binti FIKRY, Siti Nur Syafiqah binti ABDUL Latif.
Introduction. Entrepreneur Profile is a learning activity that helps students understand what the term entrepreneur spirit means and how having entrepreneurial attribute can help them achieve their goal and thrive in school. Students will develop their impression of entrepreneur quality and discuss them with their classmates to help them understand them better. In this activity, the entrepreneur profile gives you the opportunity to learn the skill you will need to execute and manage the project that you are passionate about that is connected to your field of study. An entrepreneur is a wonderful motivator as well as a leader. These are the characteristics that make up an entrepreneur profile. Every entrepreneur yearns for a sense of ownership over their business. This quality is exemplified by desire to constantly resolve of them attain a goal. Creative and innovation are hallmark in successful entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs frequently come up with innovative and profitable business concepts that turn into successful startups. They are not only terrific leaders but also great motivators thanks to their ingenuity.
The name of this entrepreneur is Muhammad Azwan bin Fatullah. He was born at Hospital Batu Pahat, Johor in age 27. He was a visionary and highly motivated man. Mr. Azwan is the eldest of 4 siblings. He grew up in Batu Pahat, Johor and later settled in Kampung Kejai, Kuala Ketil, Kedah. He is still single and currently looking for a life partner. Encik Azwan is a former multimedia science student and has been involved in producing UPSR, PMR and SM programs along with Sinar Harian for a month. He worked in management and media for 7 years before he started this business. The work he does is like sending articles and editing videos. Interestingly, with the knowledge that Mr. Azwan had, he produced his own business logo. At first, he only helped his younger sisters, but then he became more interested in producing his own business. This business started with a proposal from a younger sister to produce a Rempeyek. At the first stage in producing this Rempeyek, he gave it away for free to the public at the wedding party. This way, this product is becoming more famous and this business has been running for 12 years. Then, after being hit by COVID-19, he decided to make frozen food to further boost this business. The main factor in the creation of this business was that he wanted to take care of his mother. This is because he is the eldest child and his mother has to take medication every month. So, he was determined to develop his business to bear his family. He said that the salary he received was only enough for himself and eventually he decided to do 2 jobs and expand his business while the demand for Rempeyek remained warm. Since he was not born from a wealthy family, he worked very hard to develop his business so that he can help his mother to heal.
Now I am going to show you about business background. First of all, is the name of a company. The name of a company is Rempeyek Kejai. Next is how he run the business. For the first time, Mr. Azwan only took 20 pieces of jars to sell. For those who want to buy it, Mr. Azwan can send it to their house by using the COD method. During the MCO, the business was running badly because no one wants to buy the Rempeyek during the lockdown. He said that he lost the profit about 20,000 ringgit. The next is who is the target customer that the company target to. This business targeting the youngsters and elders because he said that he wants to changed their mindset that the traditional Malaysian snacks is not delicious. So that he used his mother recipes and built the company to show that Malaysians traditional snacks so as good as the other snacks. Lastly is how many the subordinates that Mr. Azwan has for the first time. He said that only 10 workers who want to work with them before the outlet built. Then half of the year the profit becomes stable and they decided to build the store. Plus, Mr. Azwan also said that he wants to become a partnership with someone else soon.
Entrepreneur before starting a venture, and I will present two main questions, namely working experience and role model. Azwan is successful daily journalist in carrying out his duty. Mr. Azwan also interested in his part of journalism due to the course he studied, which is multimedia science, which has a subject such as media law and articles that cultivate his interest in this part of journalism. Through his latent talent, Encik Azwan has been selected to be involved in daily new program for 1 month, namely an educational program in UPSR, PMR and SPN in educating the national children. Through his skill, Encik Azwan has also managed the content of article and video editing process apart from being a successful journalist. And question number 2, the interview, I guess that Encik Azwan think that his role model that entered him to this field of entrepreneurship is a well-known Bumi-Putera entrepreneur in Malaysia, namely Tan Sri Sheikh Mokhtar Al-Bukhari. Mr. Azwan was impressed and attracted by the attitude of Tan Sri Mokhtar, who was a man who never know that many of failure and always learn from whatever mistake he made, to rank 7 in the list of 14 rich people in Malaysia, according to the trade newspaper Business Economy 2014. Through this story of the entrepreneur, it gives motivation to Mr. Azwan to always correct his mistakes and not give it up in running his business.
Entrepreneurial activities. Mr. Azwan, he was once involved in this entrepreneurial activity when he explored and focused on the department of interest such as Tikun, the entrepreneurial publicity unit of each state, and the agriculture department. Through his selection in each of these departments, Mr. Azwan gained various information and experience to run his business and increase his knowledge in this field of entrepreneurship. Intention of being an entrepreneur. Mr. Azwan, he started a business selling logo design and motif for shirts at the age of 21 years old because he once studied the subject of entrepreneurship at the university he studied. He has been interested in venturing into the field of entrepreneurship. He started his business with only computer capital at first by designing motifs and logos to make shirts for students at the university. He has profit from the design he has produced, having had enough capital to do his own business by selling clothes designed by himself. In addition, selling his own designer shirt, he also takes orders to make shirts with his own customer design. At first, his customer were only students at the university, but after that, he also took booking for outside customer as well. Since then, he began to take an interest in business The experience has made him interested in business and want to continue trading in other products.
I will present the part of entrepreneur at the time he started the business. Firstly, for the primary motivation start out, Mr. Azwan started this business because he sees other success, he also wants to success. He also wants to increase his daily income and financial resources. Next, for the goals, Mr. Azwan's goals is to help others in each and every way he can, and to improve his personal economy. He aspires to really be successful in the field of entrepreneurship. Mr. Azwan also wants to reach the first 5 million in the next 5 years. Resources that available before the start out. The sort of resources that Mr. Azwan had before starting this business was by having achieved in the State Information Department. He no longer wanted to earn salary, so he was motivated to do business. He continued to open a shop and he sell water. He said financial resources were his main focus. He also focused on what we want to do first. For the networking, he started from small scale by family, relatives, friends, and colleagues. This networking further developed to social media, which is Facebook is the main, Instagram, and TikTok. Mr. Azwan in process of collaborating with grocery store or supermarkets in Peninsula Malaysia. Mr. Azwan's sales have increased much higher than before.
In the early stage of his business, he was very serious and interested in venturing into business. Starting from the secondary, he has tried to start a business such as printing and so on. When he was working under a cheap entrepreneur, he has time to start this cheap business alone because he could see half of it. He had already explored this cheap business before running the business. He started this cheap business by selling them on his Facebook page, and eventually his cheap business attracted a lot of customers. At the beginning of his business, he did not have great risks. His business went well at the start. His business was also well received by his college as well as the public. However, he has faced heavy losses in the middle of his business. In the past COVID season, he has lost 20,000. He said that the problem at the time was customers' problem. For him, the COVID situation at the time was quite challenging for him to continue his business. Mr. Azwan has devised various types of strategies to increase his sales. Among his business plan is the planning system for opening new outlets in supermarket. Previously, he opened his business only where he lived. Now he wants to open a branch of his business more readily. Plans to add more agents to his business, and he has earned almost 1.5 million. Mr. Azwan has been ready to start his business since high school. He was so keen to run a business that he had a lot of work experience at the age of 21. He wants to success like everyone else success. He also has the goal of helping others and want to success the afterlife when he has his own business. His passion to start this business is so much that he already has more than one business that will profit apart from this cheap business. He took time from 2016 until now to make it this point and operate every day. His business was so developed and well known that he was interviewed by newspaper Sinar Harian.
In conclusion, what we learn from this entrepreneur is that it's not easy to give up. An entrepreneur is not immune to failure. However, they must believe that failure is an opportunity to work hard. Next, failing once does not mean failing forever. An entrepreneur can practice what an athlete practices. The occasional failure is not the end of an entrepreneur. The best way is to bounce back and rearrange their strategy. Before an entrepreneur receives success, the entrepreneur needs to think positively so that it becomes an impetus and not afraid of failure. As an entrepreneur, self-confidence is important because that is the key to success in the business world. Among the keys is
Among the keys to success mentioned by this entrepreneur is that business capital should not be touched because this is the main thing in business. Next, get business experience first before starting a business. Experience is very important in a business because it is knowledge that is not taught in school.
This is a discussion with Mr. Muhammad Azwan on 20 May 2022. We have had an interview session with Mr. Azwan by Google Meet platform. We took 1 hour to interview Mr. Azwan. There are 6 types of rempeyek for sale. Firstly, rempeyek kacang tanah, rempeyek kacang dal, rempeyek spicy, rempeyek mini kacang tanah, rempeyek mini kacang dal, and rempeyek mini. Rempeyek si Kejai was introduced and his product was published in the newspaper's page of Cosmo. The title of message is Young Entrepreneurs Choose Traditional Products. This is a reference. The first is the Facebook page of Muhammad Azwan. The second is the Rempeyek si Kejai Facebook page, and the third is the Zainal Azmi Facebook page.
That's all from us. Thank you for watching.